Okay, how's everybody doing this evening? My name is Kent and the channel is EOS San Diego, and we are the home of the challenge application and EOS San Diego #1 block producer. So we have launched the challenge application. We hope to have it in Apple very soon. It's already in the Google Play Store, and there's some interesting challenges that have already taken place. One that I saw this afternoon was somebody had made a challenge for somebody to get a haircut. So I thought that was a pretty cool idea. So if you're feeling like somebody's hair is bothering you, you can challenge them to get a haircut. So that's what took place. If you'd like to follow the contracts or the challenges that are taking place, the account that we're using is Challenge U. Challenge, CHALLENGE, and then YOU. That's the account that we're using, and you can watch them. They're all transparent. They're on the blockchain. I've been using Block Explorer Blocks.io. There's been a number of Block Explorers since EOS has launched. Sometimes some of them are down, others are working. I don't really know quite what's going on with all of them. I seem to find Blocks.io is the one I usually go to. There's a couple others I use, but if you want to just go track what's going on with the challenge application, just go check out the account. It's Challenge U. You can see challenges being made. I think there was another one for getting food and one for getting a haircut and some other stuff going on too. So yeah, people are using the challenge application, and we're very early in this game. We are so early in what's going on with this that we're hoping that mass adoption comes pretty quickly. We know the blockchain will grow in usage. We know things will get more and more exposure as it's being used, and of course you're on a worldwide platform, so how can you not succeed in that environment, and also trading on independent DEXs around the world. So yeah, it's all pretty good as far as we're concerned, even though price of EOS still stays fairly low. I just looked at it as a little bit over $3, but it's kind of stabilized at that price. But I can tell you one thing, it's got a lot more upside potential right now than it has downside potential. And like I say, I think the biggest hurdle EOS or blockchain has right now is just the ideas, the ability for people to grasp what's going on here. This is a massive shift in the way business is going to be done in the future. And this is a massive shift in the economy and jobs. This is a parallel universe going on right now that people aren't even aware of, that's taking place in a small sphere of people that understand what's going on. When this gets more exposure and people start to understand what's going on in this parallel universe that we're in, they will obviously start to take positions and start to build their ideas on this platform, because this is quite a unique place to be, quite a unique place to build and invest. And prices are pretty low right now, so not a bad time to get aboard. I noticed in the comments somebody said something about how they had purchased at a lot higher price after listening to one of my videos, and I can kind of sympathize with that person, because we've done the same thing. We own EOS at a lot higher prices than these two. So where you buy in at isn't always the problem. It's where you sell that's the problem. So we know that the future is going to be bright. So and as I called for $100 EOS, and I'm still sticking with that one. And I know some other people always use that number too. 100 kind of just fits. The $100 EOS kind of fits. And as somebody was writing me today, we're only $97 away. So yeah, we're going to get there. We're going to get there. It may take a little bit of time, but yeah, we're going to get there. And I really think that things are going to happen probably quicker than we think. You're used to this thing, seeing it every day, and you kind of say, wow, it's still around $3, and it's been there for quite a while. It needs some movement, it needs something to go on, and then the next day comes along and you see the same thing. So you can get kind of wrapped up in it and realize that get a little frustrated with it and a little bit hoping that it does something more. But when you take a step back and you actually see what's going on here, and like I say, you can see what we're doing, all transparent on the blockchain, and you can see the number of people involved. You can see the people enjoying it. You can see people that have made comments about it on our Telegram. And when you see it from that perspective, you start to realize, wow, this is pretty crazy, because you're doing business around the world pretty easily on the blockchain. And not only are you doing business around the world, you got a huge community behind you. So yeah, the community and the ability to go global on the blockchain is something I think more people will start to figure out in the future. Even though right now it's only exposed to a few minimum amount of people, because people just don't understand blockchain. I was listening to one of the big financial advisors here the other day, and he's huge. I mean, this guy's one of the biggest investors in the world, and he was talking about how he sees Bitcoin going much, much higher, but he also sees so many people that are in my age group that aren't understanding it because they just don't want to spend the deep dive. They don't want to do the deep dive to really get it. So they just kind of get the little secondhand information from whoever is saying whatever, and they don't really take the deep dive to understand it. We need more people to take the deep dive. And I think they will take the deep dive when they see something happen. I mean, if we see Bitcoin back over 20,000 and we start to see some major developments, maybe some other companies, Amazon, Google, launching cryptocurrencies as Facebook has done, I think you're going to see some people that are going to take the deep dive here very quickly, very soon, more and more people. The other thing I think you're going to realize is a lot of people are getting frustrated with the economy. Economy's not good, and I don't care from where you're looking at it at. The economy's bad. It really is bad. You can live in the world where the government tells you that we're in expansion and we're expanding and all this stuff, but it just isn't true. I mean, you see so many people struggle. Interest rates, they're trying to bring them back down again. I mean, they're already so low that, and that's only interest rates for the institutions and the bankers, not for the people on Main Street. People on Main Street, interest rates are going up, but for people that, our institutions, interest rates are going down. So they're trying to drive them even lower. So they're giving banks more favorable positions, and then you see this thing going on in the Midwest with the farmers and corn and soybean market. And I know I talk about that quite a bit because I have a background in that. And I think what's going on right now is these farmers, I read this afternoon, the average farmer in the Midwest is $1.3 million in debt right now. So 1.3 million in debt. So they're going to have to use equity that's built up over maybe many generations to try and keep going. So maybe a generation where families have held land for 2 or 3 or 4 generations now is at risk because of this farming crisis that we're going through, because of these economic barriers that we're placing on China. And I've been through this, and I'll tell you a quick story. When I was farming many years ago, and I was always kind of had an interest in the farm, but I was around the farm. We didn't grow soybeans. We grow northern beans, great northern beans and pinto beans. And our number one market was the Middle East, with Iraq and Iran, and those Middle Eastern countries were the number one market for the great northern beans. And when they did the invasion, I believe the first Iraq war, when they were into Iraq the first time with Saddam Hussein, that killed the market. They weren't buying the beans anymore like they did before. And when I was growing beans, they were $20 $100 a 100 pounds of beans. And about that time, they of course they invaded the Iraq, and they quit buying the beans. A lot of people in the Middle East, they had put barriers so you couldn't do business with those countries, sanctions against them, so they didn't buy any of our products anymore, and they didn't buy those beans. Well, you know what? That market never came back. It stayed down. Of course, I left farming many years ago, and it's never come back, and I don't think it's back to this day. So once you lose those markets, they don't come back. People find alternative sources. The world is a big marketplace. There's a lot of alternatives. There's a lot of technology, and there's a lot of ways for people to find other ways to get stuff, especially commodities that are grown all over the world. So don't expect these commodity prices to come back anytime soon. That's a horrible blow to our economy, especially in the Midwest, which where I'm from, and I've spent a lot of my life in the Midwest, not here in California, but in the Midwest. So I understand the pain and suffering people are going through back there, and I understand that, a lot of people today are struggling with jobs, trying to find a good job, trying to find a high-paying job, even though they're trying to bring jobs back. I don't know how successful that is on a very short-term basis. I don't think it's going to be that productive unless you can stay with it for quite some time. And of course, if the administration changes and another administration goes back or goes back to where it was before, well, now you've lost all that ground. So the people that are out there looking for a job right now, you know, they may have a different set of circumstances in the near future. So I think the economy is bad, and I think it's probably going to get a lot worse. So hopefully some of that stuff will start to make people want to get away from traditional ways of doing business and go more to a blockchain type of system. So everything is positive for blockchain. The only thing that we need to do is be patient. And sometimes that's harder than you think, especially when you're in our shoes and you've put so much time and effort and money into it. You don't want to be patient. You want to get things done. You want to have things progress. And you want to have things go quicker than they're going. But that's just the way the world works. So I think things are going to be very, very good in the future. I'm hoping there's a turnaround very quickly. I think there's a lot of things out there that could cause a turnaround. And hopefully we don't go below $3. I made a video last night about that. And I'm hoping that doesn't happen, even though I made the video and I kind of see that trend going that direction. I'm hoping somehow we build a floor here, a base here, and we get it turned around, because we need to get it turned around, because there's a big future ahead. And I think there's a lot of people that yet to learn about Bitcoin, about EOS, about Ethereum. And I think as they do take that dive and learn more about it, this market's going to be incredible. And I think opportunity is going to be off the charts. I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much.